Political analyst Mr. Deshratan Nigam also joins us on the broadcast. Mr. Nigam, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
All right. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the counsel for Arvind Kejriwal, says that this is nothing but a ploy to humiliate him, to extract revenge for the attacks that he has, had made on the Bharatiya Janata Party in the past. There is no evidence in this case. If there is, why hasn't it been produced?
Well, Vineet, in fact, when the interim relief was denied to Mr. Kejriwal, the material was shown to the court and his interim relief was rejected in the first instance when the initial arrests were made. And therefore, to say there is no material on record is a false thing. However, this is an initial stage of investigation and the charge sheet will be filed. And all the evidence and material that the ED has, along with the statements of the approvers and other witnesses, will be produced in the court. This is not the stage to, show the material. This is the stage of investigation. As a lawyer, I can tell you, I have my doubt whether the High Court will grant any relief today. Even otherwise, if you look at the entire development, his custody has been changed from ED custody to judicial custody. Therefore, this petition for interim relief becomes infructuous, that he should be released on bail, because then they have to change the petition and ask and challenge the judicial custody and judicial remand which has been done. Even otherwise, if you look at the argument of Singhvi, they are more political rather than legal. Now, if you commit a crime and under the PMLA you are guilty till proven innocent, then humiliation is bound to come. It is natural and inbuilt in a criminal system under the PMLA. And
Mr. Nigam, their counsels have also said that Arvind Kejriwal is not a flight risk, and this is a case which has been going on for a lot of time. How can he affect or influence the witnesses in any way? Their statements have already been recorded.
See, the fact is, we have seen destruction of evidence. So many phones have been destroyed, the laptops have been destroyed, the computers have been destroyed. Some of the material has been, recovered also by the ED. Therefore, they are prone to destroying evidence. One of the important aspects is to prevent destruction of further evidence also. Therefore, his custody is required. How do you know he's not a flight risk? How do you know he's not going to influence a witness? He's in a powerful position. And there are approvers who have said so. And now the stage is, he is in judicial custody. Judicial custody means that he is in the custody of the court, not the ED. So let them challenge and say that he is not going to destroy evidence. However, the entire investigation has shown that a lot of evidence has been destroyed. Electronic evidence, the trail has been destroyed. Yes, therefore everybody is shouting on top of the voice that there is no recovery. Now suppose the money comes and it has been spent in election, then proceeds of crime cannot be recovered. Only thing is to be established that the money came and the illegal money came, the crime money came, the tainted money came, and it was spent in an election. If that trail is established through witnesses and approvals and other material on record, then a conviction can be arrived at. At this stage, nobody can say anything. The investigation is going on. I think the argument done by Mr. Singhvi is mainly political. If you commit a crime and then you say you want a level playing field in elections, I don't think our criminal law or IPC or criminal procedure code of PMLA is concerned with the political elections or anything. And therefore, these are extraneous, arguments just to play on the emotions of the people. They are more political and less legal.
Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, political analyst, also with us on the program. Mr. Bhatt, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, bolo. Tell me.
Well, there's nothing to tell you, sir. You are here to answer questions, so I'm going to ask you questions.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So what do you make of this court case at this point in time? Arvind Kejriwal is obviously, and his counsel is of the opinion that the ED has been unfair. People with back pain have been let go after being subjected to interrogation and after recording their statements. He is sick, he's got diabetes and he's lost 4.5 kgs. The courts should be equitable in their outlook and their approach. And Mr. Singhvi also cited, let me finish, the courts also cited that there should be a level playing field in terms of the elections that are approaching.
Yes, there should be a level playing field. I believe in that. But you commit a crime and then you expect a relief and then you talk political. See, that doesn't work that way, no? He's no God. He's not a supreme man. He might be a CM, but then he's accused. He's accused of this liquor policy. And he has to be treated that way. Let's say if I'm accused of that, will I be given any consideration? I will not be given any consideration. And he is also a citizen of our country, and he also should not be given a... See, it's all right that you might be diabetic, you might have lost a weight, but that weight you have lost only because you committed a crime and you know from inside. You are trying to play the crowd, entice the entire sympathy of the people. These are not legal arguments. In a court of law, you have to talk about it. You prove it that you have not done it. Which they are not able to do. They are talking in terms of level playing field and political arguments when they are giving. Well, they should have known that in October itself. He should have appeared himself when the first summons came in. And then things would have been all right. That time there were no elections. But he kept on delaying. He thought that he can get away with everything. But the law and jurisprudence, catches up everyone, my friend. And he has to be aware of that. See, what decision High Court gives or takes is a different issue altogether. But then, playing with the crowd...
Okay, Mr. Nigam is also still with us. Mr. Nigam, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Well, Mr. Singhvi also went on to say that the application of ED itself says that we need to find, more information from Mr. Kejriwal after 1.5 years later since the case was lodged. It doesn't seem to be making sense is what Mr. Singhvi is saying.
Well, the development of this particular crime that has taken place through investigation. Manish Sisodia is inside. Sanjay Singh has got bail yesterday because ED at that point of time did not oppose. If ED had opposed, he would have been behind the bars. And now saying that they have not recovered anything, it's going step by step. And it needs to be because once you spend the money, you use Hawala transaction, cash transaction, cash will not be readily available because it is said that it has been spent in Goa election by the Aam Aadmi Party. And some of the MLAs who contested there did say that they have received the cash. So therefore, the starting point is clear, the end point is clear, the chain is being established from one step to other through approvers and witnesses. So these arguments at this stage will not hold true in the court of law because they are too premature and to make a very concrete submission at this stage would be coming to a conclusion as if the entire trial has been done, evidence has been placed on record and the charge sheet has been filed and then further trial has taken place. That is not happening. This is the initial stages of investigation. And so far as Mr. Kejriwal losing the weight, the jail doctor has clearly said there is nothing of that kind. It appears Atishi has made a false statement in the press conference.
I'm going to go to my colleague Akshit also, who's outside of Sanjay Singh's house. Akshit, what do we have in terms of the latest development from what we are learning inside of the court?
Well, yes, the hearing is continuing inside the High Court, and now, Abhishek Manu Singhvi has referred to the statements of Raghav Reddy, Manguta Reddy and Sarath Reddy. He has gone on to say that they are turning a criminal law on the head of Arvind Kejriwal, and he has also said that first let me tell you this, that he has stated a few points when it comes to the statements of Raghav Reddy, Manguta Reddy and Sarath Reddy, and he has said that in their initial statements, they didn't allege anything against Arvind Kejriwal, and then they were arrested, and then they were also given bail with no objection of Enforcement Directorate, and that too of the back pain. So of course that point has been raised by Abhishek Manu Singhvi. That was earlier also raised in the Rouse Avenue Court, and now when we look at what's panning in the High Court, then he has also said that in the first few statements of Raghav Reddy and Manguta Reddy, they did not allege anything in the first three statements. So just on the basis of their statements, they are actually turning a criminal law, and he has also referred to the statement of father of Manguta Reddy and saying that his statement is also contrary to what he has said earlier, and perhaps he has also said that Manguta Reddy has donated money through electoral bonds to the ruling party. That's what Singhvi has also leveled an allegation. So of course Singhvi is expressing that they're of course not upholding the basic tenet of the democracy and the constitution just ahead of the election year, and there should be a level playing field for everyone when it comes to a democracy.
All right, Mr. Nigam, there's another statement which has come out from Kejriwal's counsel, Mr. Singhvi, who's gone on to say that, the courts have to act on evidence, not principal evidence. Hey, the evidences are entirely on the co-accused and the approver. So please elucidate us in terms of, the legal ramifications of this statement.
The fact remains that the material was confidentially shown to the court, Delhi High Court, when the interim relief was rejected. Therefore, that material cannot be in possession of anybody at this stage of investigation. When the investigation is completed, it will come in the charge sheet to say that they are trying to compel and to see the evidence. That's a very clever, strategy, that keep on saying that there is no material, although the material was shown to the court in confidence, and therefore they want that material to be seen. And once that material is shown to the accused, what all the material have, the investigation will compromise, and maybe further destruction of evidence will take place, or the influencing of witness will take place. So at this point of time, law does not mandate or permits any material to be shown to the accused.
Right, and Mr. Nigam, there's also been a mention of a level playing field being eliminated as a result of this case. How would you respond to that?
Well, if you commit a crime for the accused of some serious crimes under PMLA, I don't think you can talk of level playing field. And please show me any section under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act whether it talks about level playing field in the elections. These are fantastic arguments, of La La Land.
And so, what about the fact that a democratic procedure is being denied to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal because he poses a threat to the incumbent establishment?
I don't think this will cut any ice to the court. These are merely political extravaganzas happening in court. I wasn't expecting it from Mr. Singhvi.
All right. Akshat, coming back to you, obviously the hearing is still going on. We really don't know what's going to happen. But on the other hand, we are also learning that the Aam Aadmi Party, in either case, is preparing, for either a setback or a victory for Arvind Kejriwal in the courts today.
Well, yes, the hearing is going on, and Singhvi has, made one more very important remark, saying that it is actually, a fixed match which is taking place, and he also referred to, one instance of C. Arvind, who actually handed over the file to Manish Sisodia, who is also, under custody. So Abhishek Manu Singhvi has said that C. Arvind handed over a file to Manish Sisodia when Arvind Kejriwal was standing in the same room, and that's all it happened. Arvind Kejriwal did not do anything. So of course he is going on to mention these kind of instances, and statements, and of course, Additional Solicitor General S.V. Raju has said that he has objection to it, and he has said that they have just extracted one paragraph, and he is not able to, and they have basically not given him the full judgment. That's what ASG Raju has contended. Meanwhile, of course, at a juncture when Sanjay Singh has been granted bail by the Supreme Court, of course, it has raised hopes for the Aam Aadmi Party that their convener will also be granted bail. But Supreme Court very vehemently yesterday remarked that the bail of Sanjay Singh should not be seen as a precedent, and it should not aid the other incarcerated leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, including Arvind Kejriwal. Meanwhile, the hearing goes on, and it will be important to see, especially post-lunch, as to how the court responds to it.
Right. Akshit, we're also learning that there is a protest going on currently outside of Tihar jail. What do we know about that? By the Aam Aadmi Party workers.
Well, yes, the workers and the supporters of Aam Aadmi Party and of course Sanjay Singh have gathered outside Tihar jail. And as you know, he is being taken from ILBS hospital to Tihar jail for the completion of formal requirements and paperwork. They have gathered there, and they are of course reiterating their statement to uphold the basic tenet, the basic edifice of democracy. As Sanjay Singh comes out of the custody today on bail, so they are also there to welcome him, and then he will be brought back to his residence in the evening.
All right, Akshit, stay with us. In fact, folks, let us tell you that the case against Arvind Kejriwal is being challenged in the court today. He was arrested last month in the alleged liquor policy scam. He's also been lashing out at the probe agency, and went on to say that the sole purpose to arrest him was to humiliate him, to incapacitate him. And he's seeking bail at this point in time. There was no inquiry, is what Mr. Kejriwal said. There was no statement recorded. There was no material that could be used against him. He obviously pins all of this to the Aam Aadmi Party and their chances in the Lok Sabha election. And of course, there were protests seen from both sides of the aisle. The BJP was protesting that Mr. Kejriwal should quit because he's morally not at a place where he should continue as the chief minister. The Aam Aadmi Party obviously protesting that this is an unlawful, motivated, vendetta-based arrest. The Aam Aadmi Party, through their spokesperson and their leader Atishi, also went on to say that these are just efforts to break the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal finds himself in Tihar jail right now. His health is also deteriorating. As per what the Aam Aadmi Party has said, he's lost around 4.5 kg. And the officials in Tihar jail have obviously denied all of this. He's going to be in the slammer in Havalat till the 15th of April. Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, senior advocate, who's the counsel for Arvind Kejriwal, also went on to say that there is no shred of evidence against Mr. Kejriwal. There was no attempt made to take a statement at home. The Enforcement Directorate should have spoken to him inside his house before arresting him. Mr. Singhvi also went on to say that there is no possibility of Mr. Kejriwal fleeing. He cannot influence witnesses because the case has been on for a year and a half, and he's never refused to be questioned. So once again, the case against Arvind Kejriwal getting thicker day by day. Mr. Kejriwal has also said that he was mistreated by certain staff at Tihar jail and the ED office a few days ago. On the back of a small victory for the Aam Aadmi Party, which was the release of Mr. Sanjay Singh on bail, today is the day that the courts are going to decide if Mr. Kejriwal is going to get bail or not. Mr. Kejriwal's lawyer, Mr. Singhvi, has gone on to say that there is a criminal and a troubling trend of basically criminalizing legal processes. He's also outlined a series of steps where individuals initially made statements that did not implicate him, followed by their subsequent arrests, and then suddenly providing statements against him. Mr. Singhvi pointed to specific instances such as those involving Raghav Reddy, Magunta Reddy and Sharath Reddy, and these individuals were arrested after giving their statements against Kejriwal. He highlighted the pattern of individuals giving statements against his client only after their arrests, raising questions about the coercion or inducements that must have been involved. He also specifically cited the case of Reddy, who provided a total of 9 statements, 7 before his arrest and 2 while under arrest. Mr. Singhvi condemned this practice, suggesting that individuals were pressured to incriminate Kejriwal in exchange for leniency in their own cases. Mr. Singhvi expressed his dismay at the lack of fairness in this approach, emphasizing that it was concealed and unjust. However, the Assistant Solicitor General, the ASG, Raju, objected, stating that no prosecution complaint had been filed against Kejriwal, implying that there was no basis for Mr. Singhvi's concerns. Nevertheless, Mr. Singhvi persisted, labeling the situation as utterly shameful, highlighting that out of the 13 statements made by Mr. Reddy, 11 contained no incriminating evidence against him. In summary, Mr. Singhvi raised serious concerns about the integrity of the legal process and the fairness of the proceedings.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.